Have you ever been in the situation where you're scared to make the next big move in your career? Some people will tell you just take the leap. But what if the other side of the road isn't clear enough? What if one wrong move costs you years? I have been there. Few years ago, I quit my dream job at ISRO as a scientist to redefine my career and seek more from life. I was 28 and there was no guarantee that it would work out. But it did work out for me eventually. Over the years, I have realized one thing, which is you don't need absolute clarity to move forward, but you do need a framework to navigate uncertain times and decisions. And that's what this video is about. I will share today how I think through big uncertain decisions in my life. Hi everyone, my name is Erijit. I started my career in rocket propulsion at ISRO, where I worked for 6 years, contributing to multiple Indian space missions. Then I completely redefined my career, pursued an MBA, and today I work in global tech as a senior program manager at Amazon in US. Over the years, I have switched industries, roles, even countries, and none of those moves came with complete certainty, but each of them came with a structured thought process that helped me move through the uncertainties and the unknown. So if you're someone who is contemplating your next big move, be it changing career, geography, or even redefining your identity, then this video is for you. Working at ISRO was truly special. The people, the sheer purpose of it, the buzz of rocketry, the mission, and the sense of pride. That's a combination which is rare to find anywhere. But after having worked there for 6 years, I started to kind of feel a quiet pull, not away from rocketry, but towards something new. And that voice in my head kept getting louder. And that is when I decided to quit ISRO and pursue an MBA. When I was actually making the decision, it was a quite painful process for me because I could not sleep for days. The reason for that was I was leaving my dream job to pursue something I had no idea about. And that's when I realized that when the road is foggy, you don't really need blind faith, but a framework to think through it clearly. So let me walk you through the 6 filters which I used to make that decision and all the big decisions ever since. So the first element of the framework is measuring the risk. I'm not a kind of guy who believes in, just quit, jump, and figure out what comes next. When I quit ISRO, I quit it because I got selected into one of the top MBA programs in the country. So that gave the risk a structure. So it was, in a way, a measured bet. When you are making the big decisions of your life, ask yourself what is that minimum condition which makes the leap worth taking. The next component of the framework is to talk to real people who have walked similar path. Before making that move, I spoke to a number of people who traveled a similar path to understand the reality of an MBA program in India. And most of those folks were complete strangers. I reached out to them through cold messages on LinkedIn, and that's how we got connected. You'd be surprised to see how helpful people are. All you gotta do is just reach out with honest intention. And this bit, like talking to real people who walk the similar path, is very, very important because it gives you real, anecdotes from folks who actually have lived that life. So that helps you set your expectations correctly. Talking to 10 real people who walked a similar path that you are wanting to walk would give you a lot more insight than months of online research. The third element is making independent choice, and this is my favorite. Talk to whoever you want to and whoever you can, family, mentors, peers, friends, but decide for yourself. The decision has to be your own because no one else knows your reality better than you, and more importantly, No one would live the consequences of your choice. So talk to a lot of folks, but decide for yourself. Take advice from folks as input, but don't consider those as instruction. The fourth one is understanding and weighing the opportunity cost. A choice which fits your reality would always outperform a choice that fits in someone's checklist or bucket list. That is why I did not go for the most expensive MBA, but chose the one which, in my opinion, balanced the quality with my expected ROI. The fifth pillar of the framework is the no failure mindset. I do not waste any time thinking, what if it fails? Because when you make a choice and you keep at it, keep learning and adapting, you would definitely end up somewhere useful, even if it's not, a place which you originally had planned. Always remember that there's a stepping stone between where you are and where you plan to be. And finally, think about the reversibility of the decisions. Some decisions by nature are reversible, some are not. For example, moving to a new country, it's a reversible decision. If things don't work out, you can always move back. But let's say quitting a job at ISRO, which I can never go back to, that's an irreversible decision. So think about the decision that you're making and the reversibility aspect of it. If it's a reversible decision, which at Amazon we popularly call as two-way door decision, then move fast because you can always undo that decision. If it's by nature an irreversible decision or hard to reverse decision, then slow down and think through all the five filters that I just mentioned before. These six filters became my mental compass. They don't eliminate the risk, they just make the direction less blurry. Looking back, that decision which I made 5 years ago, that changed everything. Uh, MBA just did not open new doors for me. It completely reshaped how I think about life in general. Not so much the coursework, more importantly, it's the people who I met during and after MBA, and they taught me so much about so many different things like how SaaS products are built and scaled, how companies grow, how to interpret the fiscal policy, how wealth works. So many different things, so many different dimensions which I had no idea about, and I would never know if it's not for those people who I got to, cross path with. I did not realize it back then, but now I do that one decision completely redefined my life and eventually helped me build a career that spans industries and continents. And that's when I truly realized that clarity does not come before you make the move. It comes, rather, it's found once you make the move and hit the road. So if you are standing at the edge of your next big decision, be it switching career or starting your own venture or something personal in life, remember that you don't need to see the whole road ahead. All you need is a pragmatic framework to think through it clearly. And if this video has helped you to see your next move a little clearer, then share it with someone who is at their own crossroad. And do let me know in the comment section what's the next big move that you are contemplating.